Hi, guys. And today we're going to be discussing the power of pivoting. To see future videos, remember to like and subscribe.
This video was brought to you by Accra Founders Club, where entrepreneurs work together for mutual success.
Often we encounter opportunities in business that if we were not paying attention, we would not realize that the opportunity exists. We go into business with an idea, the idea of how the world works and how our business or our idea can solve a specific problem that the world have. But the problem with the world and the problem with consumers is that often consumers don't even know exactly what they need, because knowing what you need means that you must understand the system that's providing you your wants and needs. And often when you ask someone how the food system works, they have no idea. So they have no idea on how the food system can change or migrate to serve their needs in a more efficient or convenient or price effective manner. So, but there are situations in which this data arises when you're in a store, or you opened up an auto parts store, and someone or repeated people walks in and they say, "I'm looking for this one particular part for a motorcycle." And you get dozens of people walking in looking for motorcycle parts. Often businesses simply just say, "Oh, we don't sell motorcycle parts," or "Oh, we don't sell boat parts." But if many people are walking into your business um, looking for motorcycle parts, and you have not advertised to motorcycles, you have not advertised to boating, or you are not advertising to this new group of consumers that's walking into your business requesting a service or a product that you don't have, then these can be really profitable consumers, because often the cost of acquisition of one customer is much higher than you can make off that customer in a short period of time. And that means you need to increase the lifetime value of a customer. And I'll just dip into this just a little bit. Now I'll shoot another video on the lifetime value of a customer. But basically it means that I am willing to spend $50 in advertising to attract this one customer, because over the lifetime of me of having this customer, let's say the average time that a person visits your auto parts store will be 5 years. Over the lifetime of having this customer, they will generate $1,000 of revenue. And let's say out of that $1,000 of revenue, there's $200 in profit. And therefore, I'm willing to make this short-term investment of $50 to see this long-term profitability of $200. And that's basically what the lifetime value is. So, but often you'll notice something in customers, and these stray customers, or these customers that randomly find you and ask you for the groups of customer that ask you for things that you don't have. They cost nothing. They cost nothing to attract, right? And if this happens a few dozen times at your business, if you're an ice cream shop and someone comes in and asks for gummy bear toppings, and you don't offer gummy bear toppings, and 3 dozen people have asked for gummy bear toppings, you probably should start serving gummy bear toppings. Now, it's a very small form of using data to improve your business. On a larger scale of things, a pivot is very important. One of the greatest pivots of all time is how you use Apple right now. Initially, Apple introduced software, introduced hardware, or the Macintosh, to do basic office stuff, computing work, accounting work, document stuff. That's what they did. But then they realized that there was a piece of software on their computer that helped people design stuff. And people started using their Macintosh for design. And Apple realized that, hey, we haven't really advertised this tool. This is just something we threw on. We thought it'd be cool, but it seems like there's a huge demand. Therefore, we're going to switch our entire business model to the creative industry. And very early on, Apple started focusing on design and video and audio and media. And out of that pivot, out of them going from, you know what, we no longer want to be a accounting company. We want to focus on the creative arts. We want to focus on the digital design and the recording and the music. And we want to be the cool kids on the block instead of the corporate kids on the block. That is why you have iPhone. That is why Apple is so valuable today. This happened all across industry. The reason why Blockbuster failed is because they refused to pivot. Now, here's the problem with pivoting. Often companies are so pot invested in their existing structures, it's very, very hard to change. Do you know who developed the first digital camera? Kodak. Kodak held the patent on digital cameras for decades. They understood that this market was coming, but Kodak and Polaroid was so invested in print film. Their entire facilities was so invested in print media and developing print media and selling disposable cameras and selling these little cartridges of film. They were in producing, the machines that Walgreens or these companies are able to take these rolls of film and shoot out pictures. They were so invested in it. I'm talking tens, hundreds of millions of dollars invested in these machineries, that a pivot to digital media would have made all of their existing manufacturing obsolete. And often, you get corporate models that is so they're double down on in these industries that's dying. And then you have, because they're unwilling to pivot, although they know the market advantage, that they know the market is shifting that way, the one person that's making the decision, or the 10 people that's making the decision, the chairman, the president, and the board of directors, they have a fiduciary duty to grow margins. No one wants to be that president, or no one wants to be that president or chairman that makes the switch to digital, and then their bottom line, or they revenue decreased by 75% in the year. Although in the long term, they may become the market leaders in digital. Right? No one wants to be that president that can't keep a company profitable for 2 years, as the average CEO life cycle in some of these companies are, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something. It's very, very short. So everyone's thinking short term. But when these companies refuse to pivot, this is the opportunity for entrepreneurs to disrupt. So if you find companies that's working in old models, they are prime for disruption. They're one of the criteria I look for when I'm scanning industries for possible disruption. This is why the developing world is possible, right? The developing world is growing rapidly, and a lot of companies are being disrupted in the developing world because everyone's operating on old technology. Now, when it comes to you in your business, you have to be able to recognize when is the right time to pivot. Recognize when is the right time to say that, you know what, I wanted to offer this product, and you can say that you're offering a whole suite of tools. Let's say you start a auto parts store and you have a variety of vehicles, but 80% of your sales, or 60% of your sales, or 60% of your profit is coming in from one make and model car. So you can zoom in and pivot and reduce your entire variety of inventories and focus on, let's say, the Toyota buyers. That's have a large chunk of your sales and start offering more along that line. Or you can also, zoom out, and say you were once just offering Toyota parts, and a large amount of people are walking in to request, you know, Volkswagen or Ford parts. So you can pivot from being a Toyota, parts store to a general auto parts store. Or your customer segments, may change, right? You may was focused on used parts, and there's a huge demand for new parts. But if you weren't able to sell used parts, if you never entered the used parts business, you wouldn't have realized the real demand of new parts. So pivoting is basically taking that data that you have now, and realizing that what you know right now may not be totally true once you enter the market. And once you enter the market and you understand customers' design, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot be focused on whatever design of business plan or business idea that you had before you understood the market. No matter how much is invested in it, you need to change your plan. You need to change your business model. You need to change what's going on in the way that your business operates. You need to do it, or you'll end up like the Blockbusters or the video rental places. You'll end up like Kodak. You'll end up like these dying companies. No matter what size you are, you'll end up like them, and you'll be disrupted by someone else who listens to customers' demand and cater to their needs. That's all I have for you today. So remember, if you want more videos from me, if you want to understand my internal thought process when it comes to business, please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Accra Founders Club, where entrepreneurs work together for mutual success. Please visit www.accrafoundersclub.com for more information.